Part 3 of planning your Montana fishing vacation. Let's freaking do it. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I do knife and outdoor gear reviews as well as outdoor videos. So please consider subscribing before you take off. This is part 3 of 3 for planning your Montana vacation, and this is what to expect when you're here in Montana. If you've been here before, you probably have gotten the vibe of what the state has and the people that are here. If you haven't, it's probably a question mark. I can tell you right off the bat that this is going to be a raving good review of the state. I've lived here for 5 years, and I really feel strongly that this state has some of the best people that you can have. But while you're here, what can you expect? So the things that we'll cover today are the obvious: weather, hatches, what are the locals like, guides, food, and the other stuff. Can you bring the whole family? So let's start with the weather. The one thing that is a joke here in Montana is that we have 2 seasons. We have winter and we have smoke season. And it's sometimes the truth. A few years ago, with the wildfire season was really bad here, and the whole state seemed like it was smothered in smoke, and it made fishing pretty miserable. That said, usually we have a period of time where we will see smoke, and we never avoid it. It's a big state with a lot of trees, and a lot happens when it comes to forest fires. However, you can plan around that. If you have the flexibility, you can move to a different part of the state. It's the 4th largest state. It's huge. It's like the size of the whole Northeast. If you really completely do not want to be around smoke, you can move, or just plan your trip around times that are not as smoke centric, which really the month of August is our smoke month, and sometimes into July and into September. August is the smoky month. Fires are an issue, especially if you're planning a backcountry trip. If you're going to be hiking up the Bob Marshall Wilderness or into the Bridgers or somewhere like that, fire can be an issue. It really can, especially in the summertime when everybody wants to be here. So the biggest suggestion I can say is when you show up, look at what fires are going on. They are everywhere. There's not a news site here that's not completely covering them. Look at the weather forecast and see. Lightning is the biggie here. If you see lightning in the forecast, that can be a concern and something that you'll want to watch. And lastly, be safe. If you get out there and you see a fire start, or you're smelling smoke, or you're seeing a lot of smoke, it might be time to kind of figure out your bearings, figure out where that's coming from, and get out of there. Hoot owls can be an issue. We haven't had hoot owl in a couple years. What hoot owl is FWP monitors the temperature of the waters in the river here. And when the water gets high enough that it stresses our trout out, they will put a restriction where in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, they have no fishing after that point. So from 3 until sunset, and pretty much 3 until the next morning, there's no fishing. Hoot owl can be an issue, especially, again, if you want to come in August. Now, August is usually our driest month. It's our hottest month. It's the water's the lowest. So that's something to think about while you're planning your trip, and something you want to think of when you're here. A lot of the people that I've seen that have come here on vacation, and there is hoot owl effect, you really only want to be in the water in the morning. By noon, it's so hot, usually you want to be off the water anyways, and there's so much else you can do in this state that you might as well get up early, get on the water at 6 a.m., be off by noon, and then go out, go have a beer at a brewery, go see a show in the evening, and get to bed so you can get there up the next morning to get on your trip. Fly hatches drive a lot of the folks that come here, and there's a lot of videos out there, and I'll probably make some in the future about the different hatches in the different parts of the state, but that drives a lot of the tourism and a lot of the folks that come here. We have early season hatches of squallows in March and April. It's a huge hatch. It's well known. A lot of rivers have the hatch, but here in western Montana, it's especially red hot. In the summertime, we go through our different salmon flies and mayflies. Again, I'm not going to break down every hatch. You may want to plan your trip around the hatch. There is a salmon fly hatch on Rock Creek here that is incredibly popular. It only lasts about a week. That's the red hot period, so you better get lucky or be flexible. It's an exceptional hatch. It's big flies. It's big fish hitting big flies. It's a lot of fun. Research your hatches. That may be something you want to plan around, and again, outfitters can help you with that. The locals, as I said at the beginning of the video, locals are great in this state. Most people, and again, there's exceptions to every rule, but most people are going to be very helpful. They're going to be very understanding. If you're here and you're not from here, they're going to be help you find ways around, hopefully find access points. Locals are great. When you go into towns, whether it's here in Missoula or Kalispell or Bozeman or Billings or Helena or Great Falls or Butte, wherever you go, or the small towns as well. People are going to be very friendly. They're going to smile. They're going to shake your hand. If you hit a dirt road, don't be freaked out if people wave at you when you pass on the road. That's us. That's what we do. The guides are top notch in this state. A lot of the guides are seasonal. They'll come here, they'll guide during the summertime, and then they'll go to New Zealand or be hunting guides in the fall. So these are a lot of the guides, not all the guides, but a lot of the guides are really experienced, and they've been doing this for years and years. So when you're looking at your guide and you're thinking about getting a guide, just realize that for the most part, you're going to be getting top-notch people in the state no matter where you go. I haven't run into a lot of bad guides. I know they're out there. This is a great place to be guided down a river. The food just continues to get better in this state. I spent years in Seattle. I spent a few years in southern Arizona and Phoenix. I have different city experience, even though I'm a country boy. So I know what good food really is, and Montana has just year after year gotten better and better with our food. Not only, I spoke a little bit about breweries, we also have exceptional cuisine across the spectrum. Beef is obviously our thing. We have more cows than people in this state. Beef is going to be really good here, but there is great Asian food. There's great, any kind of food you can think of is really, really good here. If you like food and you want to be fine dining, you may want to plan your trip around one of the bigger cities. If you like true Montana cuisine, there is some of these smaller towns that have restaurants that are just, it's home cooking. They're cooking stuff that their grandma or great grandma was cooking, and this recipe's been refined over 100 years. So the food can be and is top notch in this state. And the final piece, and this could be really long, but I'm going to keep it really short, is bring the whole family. Whether you're a male or a female and are coming here to fish and you want to bring your significant other or your kids, bring them with you. There is so much to do in this state. I mentioned in my first video that we have 9 national parks here. The 2 main ones are obviously Glacier and Yellowstone, but every city's got sport parks and water parks and kid activities on a daily basis and festivals and all these different things that you can be a part of. Visit Montana or visitmt.com. We'll show you a lot of those. If you're going to a specific area, every town has a website or some sort of event directory that'll drive you to what's going on during the time period you're going to be here. So bring the whole family, make a trip out of it, make a whole family trip out of it. If you choose, it'll be well worth it. They'll enjoy themselves. Maybe rent a cabin, do a little horseshoes, make some barbecue out on the barbecue. Montana offers a great experience for any family out there. So that's it for this series. I know it was kind of a 50,000 foot view. This is not a really detailed thing. I will be doing videos that are a lot more detailed than this. So please make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you see when those come out. In fact, I have a fishing video coming up here in the not too distant future doing some profile stuff. Thank you again for watching, and until next time.